Okay, on 41. Here we have two square roots in the denominator. In order to get rid of a square root when you have multiple square roots in the denominator, or even multiple terms in the denominator, you have to multiply by something called the conjugate. The conjugate will be the exact same terms that you started with, just opposite signs. So this is going to be square root of 6 minus square root of 3. So square root of 6 minus square root of 3. And whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. Okay? So here, what we're going to do is on the top, we have 2 times this, so we have to distribute. So 2 times square root of 6 is just 2 square root of 6 minus 2 times square root of 3 over, in the denominator, you would normally need to do FOIL, but because these are conjugates, because these are identical, just one's adding, one's subtracting, you do not need to do the outers and inners. They're going to cancel. So square root of 6 times square root of 6 is going to get you 6. Positive and negative is a negative. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 gets you 3. Okay. And then we just reduce this. So this is 2 square root of 6 minus 2 square root of 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. And that doesn't look like there's any common factors there, because this 3 can't cancel with that 6 because this is under a radical. Same thing with this 3, this is under a radical, that is not. So this is your final answer. Okay. So on 42, if we want to get rid of a square root of 7 plus 1, we'd multiply top and bottom by square root of 7 plus 1. Since we got one term times 2 terms, we need to distribute. So square root of 7 times square root of 7 is just 7. Square root of 7 times 1 is just square root of 7. On the bottom, again, you would FOIL, but your outers and inners are going to cancel, so we don't need to do that. So we get square root of 7 times square root of 7, which is 7. Outers and inners cancel. You're left with negative 1 times positive 1, which is negative 1. So your numerator is going to be 7 plus square root of 7 over 7 minus 1, which is 6. Okay. Let's do one more of those. Let's look at 46. Again, we have multiple terms in the denominator, so you need to multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the bottom. So that's 3 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 3. 3 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 3. On the top, we're going to need the FOIL, so need to distribute and distribute. This one's going to take a little bit of effort. 5 times 3 is 15. Square root of 3 times square root of 2 is square root of 6. Now, do the outers. 5 times positive 2 is 10. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is just 3. Now we do the inners. Negative 3 times positive 3, which is negative 9. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just 2. And then the last terms, negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6. Square root of 2 times square root of 3 is square root of 6. Okay. There's your numerator. Your denominator, we only need to do first and last here. 3 square root of 2 times 3 square root of 2. 3 times 3 is 9. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just 2. Negative times a positive is a negative. 2 times 2 is 4. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is just 3. Okay. So now we can simplify this down. Looks like we have 15 square root of 6 minus 6 square root of 6, which gets you 9 square root of 6. 10 times 3, that's 30. 9 times 2, that's 18. 30 minus 18, that is positive 12. Okay. And then in the denominator, we've got 9 times 2, that's 18, minus 4 times 3 is 12. 18 minus 12 is 6. Okay. But now we have a 9, a 12, and a 6. Those are all multiples of 3, so we can take a 3 out of there. That's 3 out of there, and a 3 out of there. which should get you your final answer of 3 square root of 6 plus 4 all over 2. And that's your final answer.